Happy Friday, 6'4" Owl parents. Mr. Hagedorn here. A couple quick team updates. First, there is no school next Friday. It is a teacher workday. We have to be here, unfortunately, but your children do not. And grades will start to be posted in Power School over the next week or so. Math grades, I'm using Canvas. I believe they've automatically synced, so you should start to see some math grades popping up probably today or tomorrow morning. The other subjects, their grades will start to be put in over the next week or so. All right. As far as math goes, in Math 6, students will continue to work on their Unit 2 quiz number 1 study guide on Monday, and then they will take the quiz that goes with that study guide on Tuesday. They will continue to do ratio stuff the rest of the week after we finish that quiz. We'll be finding unit rates and using those unit rates to answer some questions. Right, in Math 6 Plus, we are continuing to find unit rates next week and use those unit rates to answer questions. They'll be working on their study guide for their quiz number 2 on Tuesday, and they will be taking that quiz on Thursday. All right, have a great weekend. We'll see everybody on Monday.
Hey, everybody. Kelly Swenson here with your ELA updates. We had a great week. Students took their first mid-unit assessment today. It's going to take me a little while to grade those. There's quite a lot of reading to get in through there, and I'm reading their handwriting. So I'll try to have those in at some point next week and have my grade book set up, and so I'll start entering grades one day next week. Monday, students have their Fast Bridge assessment, which is a reading assessment. All students will be taking this, and it is timed for different students. So if they do so many skills and they get them right, then they will go on to another skill. So that gives us good information and insight as to where to go with our teaching. So students will be doing that on Monday. Next week, then we also get into what is called the hero's journey. So we'll be using our workbook and the journey that a hero takes from start to finish. And this aligns with reading our Percy Jackson novel and how Percy Jackson is following the hero's journey. And then looks like next Wednesday is when we'll be back in our novel for chapter 5 and Thursday for chapter 6. And that will take us through all of next week since we're not here Friday. One other thing, please make sure that your student is filling out their agenda every single day. So what you see on this board right here should be written in their books. And that is your check for what homework they have. And we'll be checking that to make sure that they're getting that done every day. And see you next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Hello, Owl families. Mr. O, 6'4" Science updates. This week we are finishing up our first mini, I don't even want to call it a unit, but it's Thinking Like a Scientist. We really spent some time looking at the scientific method, looking at different variables in an experiment, different controlled types of groups, and the different types of data you can collect. We did an ink lab, and then we followed it up with a bubble lab. Essentially, we did that because one is looking at qualitative data, and the other one's looking at quantitative data. We will finish up that mini unit on Monday, and then we're going to get into our first major unit, which is Matter. It's about a 6 to 7 week long unit. The next week's going to be very, very slow start to a big unit. We're going to be introducing stations to the kids, and we're going to be looking at just the general vocab, atom, molecules, particles, and we're going to be talking about a fellow named John Dalton. Talking about fellows, here's Mr. Hutchison.
All right, friends, let's talk social studies real quickly. So we have been continuing our unit on thinking like a historian, and we've been talking about mostly this week maps, a little bit of map skills, the 5 themes of geography, what they are and why they're important. We're going to continue with that a little bit more next week as that unit finishes off by the end of next week. So we have about 4 more days of it. Now, you'll see on the screen here, your personal timeline was due on Wednesday. That's an assignment that we did when we were kind of creating a timeline project. Some students have finished it. I've been grading them. What I'm finding is that there are some that are excellent and finished and some that are kind of half done or not all the way finished. So grades are going to be coming out, and you're going to maybe notice there are some students that have some lower scores because they're not finishing the work. So something to keep in mind when you're going over assignments with your kids at home. One more thing I want to talk about is please try to remind your students as they're coming into school each day that they have their Chromebook, they have their charger, and if you've got headphones, that makes life a little easier, especially in social studies class. We are 100% kind of paper free. We very rarely use pencil and paper anymore in social studies. It's all digital. So if you've got your computer and your charger, life gets a little easier. So enjoy the wonderful weekend. It looks like it might be a little bit nicer this weekend, and we'll see you back here next week.